I thought I'd better film this. It's one piece of flint that I found on the Falster Islands, and I want to hopefully make a big flint axe out of it with banded patterns in it. Have no idea what it's going to look like inside, but I thought I'd be wasting an opportunity if I didn't turn the camera on. So here we are. It's going to be a box section axe if it's in there. The flint's had quite a rough ride. It's got a few damaged spots on it. So I guess we just start somewhere. Like up here. Normally what I'd be trying to do is get rid of the square section, but this particular axe I want to make is a box section, or square section as it's known. So I want the square to be in it, and to keep that all working nicely, what I'll need to use is a punch like that. I'm just going to hit that and see what happens. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a little rounded thing here. Maybe I could get on the back of that. That's potentially the start of the square section. Look. Let's turn it on. Well, that's a good start. I think what we need to do now is we need to explore what's going to happen down this edge. So I'm going to turn it like that. I'm going to hit this here. That was useful, because that's giving me a square profile over here. My dreams could disappear in a moment, but that's got nice banding in it, right? All these bits that I'm knocking off I'll keep. Not a lot of room in here. See if I can expand that a bit. That gave me a bit more room down here. Good. That went right across. Since I got back from Denmark, I've been practicing the Danish dagger, and that's all about creating square section like this, and then working from that. The idea is that the axe, if it's square, it doesn't split the handles quite as easily. But the axes that I saw in Denmark, in Copenhagen, some of them were huge, bigger than any other axes I've ever seen. And that's why I'm playing with this at this scale. It needs to be about half as thick as this. It's an interesting stone. And what we can do right now is we can actually start putting the front of the axe into shape. More came off of that than I wanted, but it's full of crystals, look. It doesn't matter. You expect the unexpected when you start opening stones up. Stones never knew they were going to be axes. They were just part of a seabed from millions of years ago. I had a bit of Falster flint given to me a few years ago, and I ended up giving it to my dad, and ever since then I regretted it. And I needed to go and get myself some more, so here we are with more. And as you can see, it's napping nicely. So that's the beginning of the front of the axe. What we're going to do now is we're just going to keep working towards the square section. Hopefully delivering good quality. I mean, look at that. Wow. Everything I need to do it well. So things like that, they're not going to help. That's good. And what you can tell is the bowls that get created, they're helpful, because what that does is it gives me a place to return from and carry on working the square section. There will come a point where this hammerstone won't be much help to me anymore. We have to move on to other tools. As you can see, this section here has a few problems, but we'll just work with it. So you can't return off of this because it's folded. So what I have to do is continue to come across from here, and there's going to come a point in time where this edge here will get sharp enough so that I can get a return. You'll see as I go further in, the likelihood of that increases. We just keep going and getting that squarer and squarer. I'd like to come back from here to that. So as you can see, it's all about that sort of access. It's not the most straightforward and easy way to nap, particularly when you've been napping something that's two-sided rather than four-sided most of your life. Probably a good idea to come up to this back end and have a play around in here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just literally playing with access. And what I mean by that is I don't actually have a generic plan in here. I'm just working with what will let me work with it and seeing what that leads on to. With, if you can see here, right, what that's leading me on to, there's still a crack laying just in here. And there's also a crack that's running right down to here. So that could steal quite a bit of what I'm intending to do. But how that flake has helped is we're maintaining these square shoulders. So we can start going from left to right over the square section. That crack in the back there is a bit of a pain. What that might mean is the axe is going to become that much shorter, which I didn't really want, but like we said, you've got to work with what you're given, and you get what you get. I just need to make sure, hopefully, that I don't create impossible situations. So this in here is not really flint. It looks nice, but it's kind of unhelpful. You see the textures of that, that's pretty bad news. And it runs right through to there as well. But it's a classic case of, you know, so what, get on with it. It's in there, so you're going to have to deal with it. It's a tall order, isn't it? Let's come back up here and try to keep working on getting that permit to come down here. That's close. Put that down. Pick up Big Ben. Sometimes you're going to get situations like this. I mean, that is just, it's just a bit of rock. It doesn't conchoidally fracture. So two sides I'm struggling to get permission from, really. This one here and this one here. And we're goddamn close. I'll tell you what might work. If we come back to the business end up here, and the business end means the actual part of the axe that would chop down a tree. What we can do is get that. Take a soft hammer. I'm being a bit sneaky here. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cast from there to get the access to go from here. Right, so I could use that. Let's just do this like this. Funny, isn't it? because when I normally make an axe, I can pretty much push an axe out of a stone, a two-sided axe, in about 20 minutes. Yet I made a box section axe the other day and it took me all day. So kind of what I'm saying there is don't hold your breath for too long. Could be in for a long ride. Keep folding on that corner. I will get permission because it does work. And once I've got it, I can expand it. So I'm going to just put something onto this situation just here, like this. I'm going to call that my first point of permission. So I'm going to put a punch on that. And that just broke a little cup out of there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into the negative shoulders of that. I can go to the left. So that just fell apart because of that crack in the back. And there. And then we turn it like that. And we go like that. And then we turn that again. And if any one of these fails, that's the end of the permission. So it's can be a bit tricky. It's not a spectator sport either, because when these come off they go flying. And the other thing is, this is higher than this, so what I should be attending to is little things like this. And then we maintain, and what we do is we keep the square. A lot turning, as you can see. But there is a square profile beginning to appear. Then everything needs lining up, so everything's nice and straight. Kind of a lot to organise. I still want to get in here, don't I? Right. What we'll do is we'll try and migrate this now. Like that. And I'll be honest with you, I have no idea how this is all going to work out. That one sort of is a showstopper just there. So what we'll do is we'll come up here. And we'll see if we can't get that started again. I know that I'm like that at the moment. And remember, we haven't even had any access on here yet at all. But we might get it just out of that little fold there. Whee. A few times I've got nipped myself there between the punch, because you let your hand right up too high because you get excited about what's going on. But that's going to be a shit. I think the punch is being quite reliable at the moment. I was thinking about just then getting this hammerstone out. I'll stick with the punch just for a second. I need this. I've got plenty of space. This is quite a broad piece of stone. Observations. I mean, essentially, what we've got going on here is you're seeing the mindset of building a square section. And like I said the other day, I made a box section axe, and it literally took me all day. And where the day got taken away was the micromanagement of all of these very small bits and pieces, and the long journey into establishing things, and on the odd occasion doing something which was slightly different, like using a soft hammer to cast from a square, which you'll get away with. Here is still very, very difficult. That didn't give me what I needed. And that one might have been the opener. That might have opened the door for me. Because what we'll do is we'll come in here now. Yep. And then, as you can see, we're building into this. Good. And that's all coming along. Now I'm going to make an assumption that you haven't got all day to watch this. So I'm going to leave that one there, and I promise you that when I finish it and I've got it to a stage where it can be polished, I'll make sure that I show it to you. So cheers for watching, hope you enjoyed that.